Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Seeum and Jeeum experience. We're back with another review, and this review is going to be the 2024 film The Substance, written, directed, and produced by Coralie Fargeat. It's French. I probably butchered it, but good enough.
I mean, honestly, that was better than what I was thinking it was. So, it's a drama horror sci-fi. I didn't really know what to expect with it. Personally, I didn't. I heard nothing about this film until you recommended it to me. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know the genre or anything going into it. It was complete blind watch. No trailers, no anything. So, why did you bring it up, Mr. Buns? What got you interested in it? Was it because of the Oscars or something? Or so yeah. Why were you curious, excited for this? What made you want to watch it?
Um, I saw again on running theme. I saw a thing on TikTok
You and
of this
TikTok movies,
guy.
dude.
I know this guy was talking about it, how it had like a crazy plot that led to something insane, and but he wouldn't like say what it was, and I'm like, okay, well now I have to watch it because it's gonna eat away at me if I don't.
Okay,
So obviously I had to drag you along for the ride, and
that's
it
the
was
point.
a decent movie.
Yeah.
So we see an aging celebrity played by Demi Moore. Um,
Mhm.
she gets blindsided and thrust out of her job because she's old. I think in the movie she just turns 50 in the beginning.
Was she supposed to be 50? She didn't really look 50.
I think she turned 50. She didn't look it, but
Hmm.
I think she turned 50. Um, and she gets into a car accident.
Hmm.
So she's at the hospital, and this Riz Lord, literally mewing the whole time,
Oh, dude, he was.
uh, yeah, like feels her up for a second and says she's a good candidate. So she gets involved with this black market drug that's supposed to make them like better and younger. And so she takes it, and um, yeah, the younger version of her, Sue, comes out, and pretty much every week they have to switch back, uh, or the clone or whatever. If the clone doesn't switch back, they get destabilized, and I'm pretty sure they'll die. But if the clone stays longer, it starts to eat away at the main host. So this is
Hmm.
kind of where the story goes overall into the plot. Is you kind of see them both battling back and forth between pretty much screwing each other over.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Heavy on the body horror, tension,
Yep.
body disfigurement. Touches on beauty standards, mental illness, um, Hollywood's need to fit in.
Yeah, and
Um,
then the need to stay relevant.
yeah, that's a better word than fit in.
You kind of see in the movie where uh, Elisabeth, the older character, she even though she's like getting completely torn apart and she's like getting more and more disfigured after every time she switches, she can't help but switch back because she wants to have her younger version of herself in the spotlight because she wants that sort of relevancy, even though it's not even really her.
No, she's living vicariously through him, through
Right.
Sue. Um, so the main characters, obviously, as we already said, we got Elizabeth, played by Demi Moore. We got Sue by Margaret Qualley, which, my God, beautiful. Never heard of her before this film. No idea where she came from. And then you've got Harvey by Dennis Quaid, which is a surprising little thing in there. Wasn't expecting that. Um,
It was all.
I'd be honest. I think they all did a really good job. I would say halfway through the movie to maybe three quarters of the way through the movie, I was kind of on the fence with them. I thought Demi Moore was doing a fantastic job acting, and I can't really weigh in much on Dennis Quaid because I thought he was just kind of just a supporting character, didn't really have much impact besides like
He
setting the
was
plot
pretty
in
much there
motion.
to be a douchebag.
Yeah, yeah. And then I didn't really think anything good about Margaret Qualley's performance until we got to maybe halfway to three quarters through the movie, and then when it really started to pick up, um, that's when they hooked me, and I thought everybody was doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
That
I
was my
agree.
turning point, at least. What about you? What did you think about their
Um,
performances?
I think they were all really good.
Hmm.
Um, the way I looked at this movie, The acting was good. It was great acting. The movie felt like more of an art piece to me, in a way.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Um, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
They were definitely trying to get a point across, and I think they did a good job with it. Uh, and yeah, early on the acting, I was like,
I didn't feel like there was
was on
anything
the
to really judge
fence.
on. It was
I was
all
like, man, this is like kind of campy.
yeah, yeah, corny, campy,
And then
which
yeah,
isn't a
about
bad thing
half
sometimes.
no, and about halfway through the movie, it started, things started getting more intense, and I was like, okay,
They had a chance to
this
shine.
Margaret Qualley, she's got some acting chops on her for
Yeah,
sure.
she got something on her. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
Canceled.
As for the pacing and structure,
Oh, hold on, real quick.
oh, okay,
We've
all
been
right.
we've been dipping into some plot and summary and everything like that, but here on spoilers. Spoiler, you've been warned.
Oh,
So
yep. Spoiler alert.
go
Cue the
ahead.
siren.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the pacing and the structure of the movie.
Hmm.
Um, I thought it was good. I think the pacing was just fine. It kept my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the tension was there. It grew. Um, I'd say it matured in a pretty appropriate way.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
really it grew with the runtime of the film.
As for the ending of the movie, I don't know if you agree, but I'm not really sure how I felt about the ending of the movie.
Um,
I'm
I
still on the fence about it. There were some parts about it that I liked, and there was other parts about it that made me almost feel like I just watched the movie for nothing.
uh I'll definitely have some to talk about in like the criticisms of the film, but
Yeah.
I didn't really like the ending either. I'm gonna be honest. I get why that was the ending, but I feel like it was too much of a tonal shift from the
It
rest of the
was,
film.
and
But I get why they got there.
that's what made me feel like the movie was an art piece. That whole ending bit,
That's fair.
I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
more statement than
obviously
story, right?
it was kind of like if you didn't get the message this far, we're just gonna shove it right in your face right now.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think because we got, at least because I got the message, I felt like that was
Yeah,
too much for me. I bet it was
yeah,
too
I
ham
agree.
fisted.
It was like,
Um,
okay, yep, this is how they want you to feel about it, and they're gonna make sure that you feel a certain way about it.
I think personally myself, I think the plot flowed well. I think the initial setup was interesting. The pacing was okay. I think once we hit that tipping point where things they started taking from each other more and more, I think it was
Yeah,
fine. I gotta admit, I feel like it was pretty slow for a section in there. For a while, I felt like it was pretty slow. But once they started getting into the body horror, then I feel like it picked up really, the tension really started growing, like every moment after that. Um, I think you already talked about it, it was campy. The dialogue was campy, but I was a cinephile for a minute and I had to stick up my butt and then I took it out and I was realized it's supposed to be goofy. I realized it
yeah.
was supposed to be goofy. I was missing the point. And then I allowed myself to be engaged and enjoy it. Um, visually though, visually, it was something. It was engaging. You know what? Uh, I'm not gonna complain about the nudity. I'm a dude. I'm not gonna complain. But it was really important. So sorry. Let me backtrack. A lot of films nowadays, a lot of TV shows just want to have nude scenes and sex and everything like that just to have
Yeah.
them. Uh, and I get annoyed with that, I guess, in most cases. But in this case, they use the nudity as a way to prepare you to show you the body disfigurement later on. So it had a purpose. So I was okay with it. So I was fine with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, I 100% agree that movies and TV shows now just will throw
Violence
boobs in your
movies
face
and
just
sex
to
and
do it.
yeah.
That's literally the only reason why they do it. They just find these young, attractive actresses and
hmm
they're like, okay, take your shirt off.
hmm
This is gonna skyrocket the ratings.
Um,
But with this movie, it was important. It was an important piece to the film just to see the difference between the older actress and then the younger actress and how their bodies are different, and then to
mm,
show us slowly what's happening to Elizabeth's body throughout the rest of the movie as she's becoming more and more disfigured and disgusting.
Yeah, so I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I thought the movie was gross, but I don't think it was horror. I don't think it was body horror. Like, it was definitely gross. It was definitely make me cringe, but I feel like they did pull their punches with it, and I feel like they did that just so it was more palatable to a wider audience. So I feel like if they probably
I
went
agree.
further into it, if they went deeper into it, made it really gross, people wouldn't have watched it. So I get it. Um, but I feel like they probably could have gone further with that. But I will 100% huge props to Stephanie Guillon, I don't know how to pronounce it, for the work on the makeup, and Jean Miel for the special effects, because those were fantastic. Those were
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. All the prosthetics
Mm.
and the makeup was
Oh, that was
really
great.
good, and I believe that's what they got the Oscar for.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure they got an Oscar for the makeup and
Honestly,
costume design.
they deserve it. Because I
Yeah,
can't think of any other
they
movie
did
that
a
came
good
out
job
this
with it.
past year that had makeup and costume or practical like that. I mean, I'm not watching everything there is, but you know. What'd you think of the soundtrack? Would you anything stand out to you on there?
The soundtrack, I thought they did extremely well.
No.
When Elisabeth is on screen, her music that they have is extremely depressing.
Hmm.
Uh, and it tells the music itself tells its own story of this fading actress where she's going out and nobody even recognizes her. They don't care about her, and the music, it gets gloomy, and it's just like, yep, okay. And then when Sue's on screen, it's all upbeat, it's all new,
Mm-hmm.
and she's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And I thought they did
Sorry.
a really good job with it.
No, I agree. Some of the sound effects were a little bit too much for me, but again, I think thinking about it now with a day to think about it, I feel like the sound effects were just supposed to be goofy, just like the dialogue. And
That's true.
yeah, because
The
I
only
remember
thing I
writing
didn't
down
like
that
was the ear rape.
yeah, I wrote down the when she was holding when Elizabeth was holding that mixer, they used a chainsaw sound effect.
Yeah.
And at the time it annoyed me, but I get it now. It again, it was supposed to be goofy, and I hadn't taken the stick out yet. Would you what do you think about the directorial style? Do you think they could have changed anything? Directions, impact of the story? I know you talked about the ending a little bit.
Yeah, I would have completely changed the ending.
Hmm. Do you have a
Like the
suggestion for
very
that, or
end. What's that?
do you have a suggestion for like what you would have done to it, or
No.
no?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I
that's
almost
okay.
I don't know. It was just that final couple minutes that I didn't like.
Yeah.
If they were gonna change that, I don't even know how they would do it.
Do you think now I'm just gonna spitball here. Do you think the ending was that overdone on purpose to be like those old monster movies? I mean, well,
It
then
could have
again,
been.
I mean, you've seen some of those old monster movies, but I don't
Yeah,
think you've seen as
it
many
could
as
have
I have,
been.
though. They're a bit. Some of them are over the
It,
top like that.
it kind of, but the thing is, it kind of felt like that's what they wanted to go for,
But like I said,
but
there's
they
a
wanted
tonal
to
shift.
compile it all into 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have her on the stage and then like spitting blood everywhere and then leaving and then exploding and
Hmm.
then Elizabeth's face crawling over the star and dissolving. And it all happened in like 30 seconds. And you're like, what did I just watch?
All right, but I've got a question for you. It's bugging me right now. I'm gonna sound really goofy for asking this. Demi Moore's not Demi Lovato, right?
No,
Okay. You know what, dude? I just had to ask. I'm sorry. I don't know.
that's all right,
I don't
man.
know. I don't know these
All right.
people. I'm learning though. This is why we're doing the Seeum and Jeeum experience.
That's right. We're experiencing it.
Yeah. So I mean, I mentioned it earlier. I feel like the film could have been grosser. I feel it could have been, more cringeworthy. But I get that it was because they wanted to appeal to a wider audience. So I won't fault them on that at all. Um, they kept pushing it. They still kept it fairly okay to look at. It was gross, but it wasn't entirely totally repulsive. Don't want to look at the screen. You know.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It was gross. It definitely I squinted a little bit, but I didn't look away. I didn't look away.
No, I didn't either.
Hmm. Speaking of not looking
Um,
away, but any moments that stood out to you?
I think her whole when she calls and she's like, I ran out of the juice or whatever to keep her from destabilizing,
Hmm.
and shows she's forced to switch back. Um, when Elisabeth is like a nasty old hunchback, and
Hunchback of
she's
Notre
like
Dame.
dragging her body or like her unconscious body through the hallway and everything. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was good. So I
Yeah.
think that's this. I think that's the scene where Sue has like her boyfriend or something over, and he
Yeah.
starts like running towards the bathroom. Yeah, I thought that was really good.
I liked
Uh,
I liked the blood mirror scene. I liked when Sue was slamming Elizabeth's face into the mirror, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, that was good.
That was really good. I really liked that one. That one was pretty gross. I think we talked about it already. The special effects. It's not the special effects. Yeah, special effects and makeup, prosthetics. I think those worked really well. I think they were great. I think if they tried CGIing them, it would have been way worse.
Yeah, it wouldn't have looked all right. I
Mm-mm.
don't think.
Mm.
I think stuff like that you got to do cosmetics and prosthetics.
Yeah, which I
You
feel like
have to.
we're forgetting about that in the modern day of filmmaking. I feel like it's unfortunately becoming a bit of a lost art.
Yeah, which is sad
It is
because
sad.
most of the time it looks better than CGI.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
What didn't work?
Like I said, I had to take the stick out of my butt, but I thought it all worked. It was unique, which I appreciate. It was enjoyable. I liked it. Aside from the ending, um, like I said earlier, it felt like a different tone overall. The film, from building up to um, them switching between Elizabeth and Sue, and them taking from each other a little bit. I felt like the ending might have been rushed. Maybe, maybe it's just
Yeah,
me. I feel
I
like
think that's
they
really the only problem I have with it.
Yeah, I feel like they said, "Oh, Sue's got the New Year's Eve thing," and then it's 3 months away. And instead of giving us any more escalation, they just jump 3 months later, and then it's the ending,
Yeah.
which is kind of my
Yep.
annoyed me. Um, I would have also liked to seen other substance users. We saw the nurse, and apparently, from him and Elizabeth running into each other in the diner, he knew it was kind of sucky. So why did he willingly offer her to do this too? Like, I would have seen other substance users, um, especially if it was somebody she already knew. Like, I wish
I
they would
think it
have
would
given
have
us
been
a third
cool.
person.
I think it would have been cool if they did something with like all the celebrities in the movie, where
Ooh,
like it kind of does like a pan shot and they all have like the scar running down their back or something
mm.
to kind of symbolize that they're all doing it because they're trying to stay relevant. I think that would have been cool,
Oh yeah,
but
that yeah, I agree. I think that adds into like what I was saying. I think it would have been cool if they had snuck in a third substance user somewhere in there, like maybe even like
yeah,
Dennis Quaid's assistant. They didn't tell you outright, but maybe you see, like you said, the scar on her or something like that, and
yeah, that would have been
she's
cool.
just trying to stay in the industry. Um, do you have any comparisons? How's it compared to other genres, other films in the genre? Our last review was The Gorge. That was also horror and sci-fi. They share two genres, so
Yeah, and it's interesting how they share the same genres, but they're such completely different films.
absolutely. I think that's the beauty of.
Um,
I think it's the beauty of it, though.
it is. I how it compares, I don't know because I feel like I don't really watch body horror movies.
Hmm.
And any ones I've seen are from like the 80s.
I feel like,
And compared to those, you really can't beat them.
yeah, those are
But
classics, man.
still, in today's market of movies,
Hmm.
I got to give it its props for being original,
Yeah,
uh, and something different.
Yeah, I agree. It reminded me, probably just because I was grossed out by it at times, but it reminded me of Eraserhead. I know you've seen that too.
Yeah, high
Um,
school.
and yeah, and for some reason, I don't know, The Fly keeps coming into mind for that body horror.
Yeah, the Fly and like The Thing
The
are
Thing,
OG
yeah,
body horror movies, and
yeah.
they were definitely in the same area. The Fly, I would compare it definitely more to The Fly,
It's been a while
seeing
since I've
somebody
seen The Fly,
slowly
but
degrade.
yeah.
Any final thoughts, buddy?
Um, you know what? I didn't know what I was getting into with this film, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was enjoyable. Um, it's a message, like we said earlier, regarding beauty standards and staying relevant and the lengths people go to stay in the in crowd. We see this already all around us with Ozempic. Tons of
Yep.
celebrities are on it. It's absolutely destroying how they look. It's terrifying. Maybe if we revisit this review in 2 years, maybe we'll see Demi Moore or Margaret Qualley and start taking it, and you'll know by their sunken cheeks and frail looking bodies. Because I got to be honest, when Elisabeth was really frail and really broken looking after the first couple abuses, she kind of looked like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she
maybe this
did.
was also like a little like I mean obviously it's a nod directly to that situation happening in Hollywood right now, but um, I think they did a good. I think they did a good job. I think it was a good film, and I'm never gonna fault a film for being unique in this day and age. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
Um, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I don't know if it was a nod to or a jab.
Oh, jab. Oh, yeah,
Eh,
jab. Absolutely.
yeah, I think it was. I think it was a jab.
Yeah,
Kind of like this is literally what you people look like,
yeah. Oh no, I
and
agree.
you're so full of yourselves that you will do anything to try and stay young and relevant
Hmm. Hmm.
instead of just letting time go by. Realize you had your run. Most of them had a pretty good run, and just let the younger talent come in and do their thing.
I mean, you know what? At the
Too
same
much
time,
living in the
though,
glory days.
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, I get it. I mean, if you're riding that high for you know, however many years you get it, it's got to be
Yeah.
hard to give it up. I don't know what that's like myself, but I don't know. I imagine it can't be easy,
No, I don't
to,
think so.
especially like in this situation where Elizabeth was the beauty icon, the standard, the most amazing one, and then all of a sudden she's been shunted out for somebody more beautiful, younger, talented. It's got to be
Yep.
tough. It's got to be tough. Like I get it, and I that's why I think it definitely dips into mental illness. Um, just because of I can't imagine what that does to somebody psychologically. Um, did you have any other final thoughts, or do you want to jump right into our
I
ratings?
don't. Let's go right into the ratings.
So, what do
What
you
do
rate
you give
this?
it?
No, I'm asking you first.
Oh,
Back
okay.
off.
I am gonna give this movie
Yep.
3 swords out of 5.
3 swords out of 5. Okay,
Three.
we
I
match.
think is a fair rating.
We match. I'm giving it 3 hoots out of 5. 3 owls.
I think that's
Um.
about where this movie should sit.
Hmm. Um. Yeah. It was good. It was unique. So I'm giving it, 1, 2 stars for that. I enjoyed it. 3 stars, but I didn't really like the ending and all that blood spray at the end. So ultimately, I'm not going to give it more than that. You might be able to stretch it up to a 3.5 for me, but I'm settling pretty good on 3. So
Yeah, 3. I think 3 is about as fair as you can get.
yeah, yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked anything about this film, if you disliked anything about it, if you have any suggestions for future reviews, please leave them down in the comments below. Any specific scenes you guys might want to talk about or hear us talk about, we'll always be happy to do that. If you've got anything to say to the audience, thank you for subscribing, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
It
It
means
means the world to us.
absolutely it does. I was literally about to say the exact same thing, and that's how you know it's true. It means the world. So I guess we'll see you guys next time. I think. Do we know what we're reviewing next? Do we
I
say it?
think the next movie is going to be Captain America: Brave New World,
Brave New World.
which we're literally about to watch.
All right. Well. All right. Well. Thank you guys so much for watching the Seeum and Jeeum experience, and we will see you guys next week.
Skadoosh.